First, the bill will strengthen the community mediation framework. It will empower authorized officers to direct disputing neighbours to attend mediation at the Community Mediation Centre. This will effectively make mediation mandatory. This move will strengthen our ability to bring neighbours together in an amicable environment to discuss their differences and understand each other's perspectives. Mediation is quick, it will be made free, and thus far has proven effective. We will therefore strengthen this framework to encourage neighbour disputes to be amicably resolved as a measure of first resort. Second, the bill proposes the setting up of a dedicated Community Relations Unit, or CRU in short. CRU officers will have a range of investigatory and enforcement powers to intervene in neighbour disputes. This includes the power to issue advisories, warnings, and abatement orders. The CRU will focus on addressing severe noise and hoarding disamenity cases. A substantial proportion of neighbour disputes involve noise disamenity. This will plug an existing gap where agencies do not presently have sufficient powers to intervene to more effectively deal with some individuals who are seriously disrupting the community harmony with their behaviour. Third, sir, the bill enhances the powers and processes of the Community Disputes Resolution Tribunal, or CDRT in short. By and large, once this new framework becomes fully operational, we expect most of the disability cases to be addressed by the mediation enhancements or by the CRU framework that we will put in place. There will, however, be a small fraction of cases that will be harder to resolve, where parties might be intransigent and where the issues at hand might have become deep-rooted. These will come before the CDRT. By the time these cases get to the CDRT, these cases will need to be managed quickly and effectively. We will therefore revise the CDRT framework to enable this. Our aim remains building a strong, resilient, cohesive community where neighbours are friendly with one another, there's more likely to be tolerance and understanding, and they will then in turn be more open to discussing minor annoyances which may arise and then aiming to constructively address them without escalation. Our guiding principle has been that neighbours should proactively and constructively engage with one another and try to reach a workable compromise. If they are unable to do so themselves, they should seek assistance from a community mediator. Mediators at the Community Mediation Centre, or CMC for short, have deep experience in facilitating effective dialogue between disputing neighbours and encouraging them to find common ground.
Enforcement tears at the fabric of neighbourly relations and should be reserved only for serious cases. When neighbours are engaged in a dispute, our priority must always be to bring them together, to understand each other's perspectives, needs and interests, and to cooperate on a solution that is workable for all sides. It is neither desirable for community spirit nor sustainable for the government to step in to resolve differences between neighbours all the time. So I call on all members to help us with this. When your resident comes to you and says that his next-door neighbour is making noise, please advise him to speak to his neighbour first and encourage them to go for mediation. If these basic strategies do not work, then the case might be a severe or prolonged one. CRU would be alerted by HDB or other frontline officers handling the case. Our officers could move the case towards mediation, make investigations leading to the issuance of warnings, abatement orders, or even mandatory treatment orders down the line, or help to make eventual CDRT proceedings smoother with the evidence that they have collected. Ultimately, the CRU must not function as a first resort. It is intended to complement and not substitute the interlocking system of positive community norms, good neighbourly relations, and amicable dispute resolution through friendly discussion and compromise. I also call on members to continue supporting MSO's ongoing efforts with our partners and agencies to build pro-social norms that contribute towards harmonious living. When we have strong community norms that value harmony and reinforce considerate behaviour in the neighbourhood, fewer cases of community disputes will arise, and where they do arise, involved parties will be more likely to resolve their differences through mediation without prompting, which means less reliance on intervention through CRU or other agencies.